Have you ever wanted to take your speed control apart, but you're scared you're going to break something? Me too. But then I got to start working at electronics companies, and they told me I should take stuff apart. So let's take a look inside of an XR10 so that you guys can see what goes on inside of a speed control without having to take your own apart. The case is held together by 1.5 millimeter little tiny threaded screws. Bottom case comes off, and now if you do take these apart, you'll have to remove your serial number, voiding your warranty. So there you go. But the bottom case slides off first. Oh, geez, nice and smooth. Good job. I have taken this apart once before just to make sure I could tell what was going on. But bottom of the board is a bunch of non-crucial parts. Well, I think that's the main IC that runs the brains. But other than that, resistors and caps, ICs, stuff like that. This is your input harness that has your main power, and you can see it's protected with a good amount of goo on top of there to stop any sort of damage or crushing. And if you look in the bottom of the case, this is all reliefed, or there's a relief cut in here so that any of these parts are well clear of the case. So no matter what happens here, none of these parts can come in contact with the aluminum, which I think is awesome. Unplug the fan to get the case top off, and then this guy will kind of slide up and off of there. If you take your own speed control apart, you'll find that there's dirt inside of them. There's not a whole lot that you can do about that, but this speed control has a lot of runs on it, and you can see there is some dirt in there. And that's one of the things that over time can probably cause a little bit of damage if that gets too far in there. So if you run in super dusty conditions over time, it's not a bad idea to take your stuff apart and clean it out a little bit. I use one of those hard, firm brushes and just brush everything off. But this is the top side of your speed control, and these are 3 rows of MOSFETs or transistors, whatever you want to call them, and they control each phase of the motor. There's A, B, and C phase, and then there's some helper MOSFETs on the bottom of it. This is a 160, so this is the most heavy-duty unit for the most part in this size platform. So double-decker on the MOSFETs on both sides. Sensor ports right there, and these boards are actually soldered together, so if there's any sort of damage or whatever, switching boards and all that is not a fun task. There's a whole row of header pins there, and that's done for reliability. Any of the replaceable plugs and stuff like that, they're real prone to wearing out and damage and vibration, and we don't want any of that. But you can see the speed control itself, the core of it, there's not much there at all. It's a little tiny unit. Most of the speed control comes in the protective case and the heatsink. To get back to the case, this is all aluminum heatsink, which is real nice, and you can see there's a gap pad in here, is what I call them, or a gel, and what that does is that transfers the heat from the MOSFETs, these brass pads, through that gel into the case, and it allows excellent heat transfer, essentially, is what you're going for there. Without the aluminum having to make hard contact or any sort of weird paste or anything like that. It makes them somewhat serviceable. So, I could take this all apart, brush all this dust out of here, and then put the speed control back together, and it's, kind of good as new type of deal. So usually what I do, just use one of these, bristle brushes. You can kind of get all your dust out of there. And this isn't something you have to do on a regular basis, like maybe once at the beginning of the season, something like that. But it's just a good idea to make sure that if you do have any dirt building up in there, dust is an amazing thing. It'll get everywhere. So no matter how much you think your stuff's sealed up or clean, you'll find that there's some dust in there. And just give it a nice close look, make sure that you got it all out. One thing you want to keep an eye out for is the button. Make sure you get that back in there the right direction. And the tab for the button is on the outside edge, so that means that little lip goes towards the inside edge to line up with the back here so that it doesn't push the button early. And then I like to slide this guy in upside down like that. Make sure that the case lines up. You see everything kind of goes in smoothly all the way around the edge. Smiley face goes up on the button is the easy way to remember it. Lay your wires down in like that. Case bottom slides back on. It does all pretty much key in. The one thing you want to watch out for is your sensor grommet. On this side, the silicone grommet here likes to get a little bit hung up, so it can be a little tricky. Just slide that guy, go like this, and then down and on, and this will kind of clip into place. And that way the grommet stays out of the way and all your keyways are nice in there. Put the screws back in. It should be good as new, and you got your dust and your cleaning out of your inside of your valuable speed control, so it can live a long, 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 healthy life. There you have it, folks. A look inside of the XR10 Pro, the 160 amp version. Thanks for watching. Get out on the racetrack, dude. And you gotta stop just going whenever you want. You gotta wait till the count. You're ruining the whole starting process.
You're a grown-ass man.
Do what I want. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this is processes. Okay, Mark, tell him.
Go. Oh, it's a little flick out, gentlemen. That's right. Oh, come on. Oh.
So, you have a new leader. Tell me the camera. Oh, good. I was worried the camera wasn't running. Nice job, Thumbstick. 3, 2, and go. What was going on over there? What just full goofy? I was nowhere near that. I will have you all know. Oh. Okay, one lap.
I'm gonna sit right here and wait for Tom. Okay, I'll wait for Charlie. Oh. I got some wicked traction on it.
White flag, white flag. Oh! I hit something. I don't know. Oh, God. Damn it. Come on, Thumbstick. Hold on, buddy. Hold on.
Oh.
Get him, get him. Oh, blowing pig truck.
Thanks to the skin. Man, I just smiled so hard it went dark.
He smiled so hard his eyes closed. He couldn't keep it together. Ah, I can't see. I'm having too much fun. Look at Thumbstick's doing it too. It's too much fun. Wait, oh, man. Oh!
That was good. That was good.
Ah!
That was good. That was some really.
That might have been one of the best ones, Jam. That was awesome.
Man, there was a lot of collateral damage.